And I forgot to add myself to the stream. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. Good evening. You're watching Homo Ludens, the channel on history and board games. I'm your host, Fred Serval, and tonight I'm very excited to be playing Crusade and Revolution with the designer, David Gomez Relloso. This game uses the same system as Path of Glory, so really big classic in the CDG world from Ted Raicer, and it adapts it to the Spanish Civil War from 1936 to 1939. Maybe a quick note for those of you watching right now. So thanks for being here tonight, first of all. Before we start playing the game, as we usually do here, I'm going to have a quick chat with David to talk about design and the way he approached his game before we start playing. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I will bring them up. We'll keep that discussion quite short because I really want to get into the game so you can get a feel for how the game plays. And also another note, David lives in somewhere that is pretty remote, so there might be sometimes a bit of latency between me speaking and him speaking, so bear with us, but everything should be okay. And one thing before we start, I just wanted to thank the backers of the show that are supporting me on Ko-fi, making sure that this stream is in glorious 180p, so I want to thank them, and also say that if you want to support the show, there is a Ko-fi link in the description, and any support is highly appreciated. And I think that's it for the intro, and I'm going to bring David up. Hola, David.
Hola, hello.
¿Qué tal?
Hello to everybody. Muy bien. Very good.
We could have this in Spanish, but I'm not sure that that the general audience would be comfortable with that. But thank you very much for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. And as I was saying on Twitter, we've actually started this discussion about doing a teach and play of your game quite some time ago, and I'm sorry that it took so long. But I'm really happy that we are finally doing it.
My pleasure, and thank you for your time, because I know that you are a busy man.
Yeah, but I'm busy with games, so I think it's normal that I'm spending time on this one. And it's a system that I like a lot, on a topic that I have a lot of interest in. So I'm super excited. But before we start getting into the game, I thought it would be nice maybe if you present yourself a bit, who you are and what do you do aside of wargaming.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am now 45 years old. I live now in a small village in the northern part of Spain, in the province of Burgos. But I was born in San Sebastian. It's a Basque town. And since 10 years ago, I opened a small rural hotel here in a small village, Dobro, called Dobro. It's very small, but my privilege as designer, I put it on the map of the game. So anyone who plays the game can find my village on the map.
And I can just see it now, actually. Yeah.
And I studied history, but actually I did not work in something connected to history. I worked several years as educator with young people, also using board games as a nice tool to work with them. And I think that's enough to present myself.
Yeah, I think that's great. How did you get into war games, and what made you do the step from being a player to become a designer?
I started quite young, with 14, 16 years old, mainly in role-playing games. Later came board games, and I came to war games later, at about 2000, when I was more or less 24, 25 years old. Later than others who I consider myself not a member of the first generation of war gamers, but the second or the third generation. And I started, I suppose, like every other person interested on war games, you start just playing and enjoying different games and discovering the hobby. And well, suddenly I think that there were several circumstances. I was very interested on the Spanish Civil War, and I wanted to play the Spanish Civil War, but I couldn't find any good war game about the subject. There were, of course, games, but there were some old games that I couldn't find. And later, yes, another games have appeared, but at that moment, I couldn't find any game, or the ones that I could find, I did not like them at all. And at that time also, I was a huge fan of Paths of Glory. I was playing that game, and for me, it was a great discovery. I enjoyed it a lot. So I wanted to play the Spanish Civil War. I couldn't find the game. I decided to create it myself. And after playing Paths of Glory, I thought that the system, the mechanics of that game that was settled on First World War, could be very useful and good for a game about the Spanish Civil War. Because even if the Spanish Civil War is considered as the first step or the prologue to Second World War, I would say that it is more connected or more similar to First World War than the second, except, for example, maybe the air war. Yes, it was more similar to Second World War, but the infantry tactics, there were armor, but very few armor, and they were not used properly. So the use of artillery, it was a war more similar to older wars than the new war that was to come.
Yeah, and that actually gives me a good transition to another question that I wanted to ask you. So it's great that you said why you wanted to make a game on that specific topic. And in that regard, I think we have very similar trajectories. I also started wargaming in my late 20s, and I decided to design because I couldn't find a game on the Paris Commune. So I think it's funny to see how the motivation can be the same. So that's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you right now, and it's not really a question, but it's just to help our viewers that might not necessarily know that period of history. Could you give a brief overview of what happened in Spain in the 30s and what you're depicting in this game? So the Spanish Civil War of 36 to 39, but just having a broad understanding of what it was all about and how it was that pivotal moment before World War II.
It's difficult to answer in a few minutes, because
you have 30 seconds.
Maybe probably and many of the people who are watching us, they know that the Spanish Civil War is probably in the Spanish history is the subject that has created more publications, books, and all kind of opinions, and still today in Spain is a quite problematic subject or thing to talk about. But Spain was not so. Sometimes we think that Spain was very isolated for the rest of Europe, but both in the 19th century and in the 20th century, in those years, things that were happening in Europe were also happening in Spain. And there were in the 20s and 30s lots of problems that came that appeared in Europe after the First World War. We all know about them. It happened in Germany, in Italy, in France, and also in Spain. And there were very, very intense tensions. The ideologies, as we know, different ideologies were in a huge struggle. And in Spain, what happened is that there was a change of regime. The monarchy fall in 1931, and the Second Republic. Well, it was a period of many problems. The 5 years of increasing tensions. Many people thought that the changes were very interesting for Spain, and that the country finally would find a better way and to solution all the problems that the country had suffered in the previous decades. But the things, unfortunately, were not so good, and the tensions were in different, both political, also social tensions, economical problems, and the things were getting difficult because there were different. There is one phrase that I think that is good, is that is the problem in the Second Republic is that actually in Spain there were very few Republicans. The problem is that both in the left and in the right side, the leaders and the political parties and the trade unions, they looked for their own interests,
Yeah.
and there was not a powerful third way, or not so radical positions, something in the middle. It was not a strong position, and the radical positions were getting stronger and stronger. And since the beginning, there were also different coups and different movements trying to destroy the republic, but from the left and from the right.
Okay.
So there were coups in 1932, 1934, and finally, what happened in 1936? There was another coup. Part of the army, not all the army, part of the army started the coup against the government.
Mm.
And the problem is that the coup was not successful in all Spain, but the government also could not stop it. And the Spanish Civil War is directly a consequence of that coup that
That
cannot
failed.
take the power. Yeah,
Mm.
it failed, but not completely. So Spain was divided, and well, the rest is history, and you can
Yeah.
play it, of course.
Yes, and we're gonna do that or start doing it tonight. But thanks for the context. That's really great. But then my natural next question, going back to what you were saying earlier. So you give us an overview of the conflict. You said that you wanted to design this game because you didn't find a game that you were interested in at the time, even if there were other games that were released afterwards. What do you think is unique about your approach? I think it was a question from Eric here that was saying. So, from your perspective, what makes your game different in depicting the Spanish Civil War?
Hmm. Well, as I said, the game is based on Paths of Glory. So if you have played Paths of Glory and other members of that family, that is
Mm.
also an interesting aspect of that game, that it created a family
A
of games.
branch.
Thank you, Ted Raicer, for your game, or for what you have created. Shifting Sands. There will be a second edition soon. That's good news, recent good news.
Yeah, we're
Barbarossa to
super happy about
Berlin,
that. Yeah.
Illusions of Glory, Pursuit of Glory. If you have played one of those games, getting into another one, into a new one, is quite easy. But it's important, of course, that you don't feel that you are playing like just a copy and paste of the previous game. That is something that I try to avoid. And fortunately, I think that I am happy, of course, with the result. But after listening to the people's opinion, they say that even if the main mechanics, maybe the 80% of the game is the mechanics, the rules, the system is the same as Paths of Glory, the sensations, the way you play, the style of the game, the sights, and many other little details are very different. And when you play in the game, you feel that you are playing a Spanish Civil War, not just another Paths of Glory with another map and another counters. It's a different game.
Yeah, and I hope that people will see this, because I think you can see that very early on in the game. You can see some of those, well, 20% of differences from the mechanic that does a lot. I think for the theme, make it a very quite exceptional a game. But also, I think that even the situation itself makes it obviously also very different. Like the system also is really, the narrative that it builds is really linked to what geography it's portraying. So I think there is also that. But that's really interesting. One last question regarding design. So as you might know, I'm pretty active on the Coin Discord server, and there is always this discussion that comes up again and again. Why aren't there a coin game about the Spanish Civil War? And I have really strong opinions about that, but that's not the problem here. I want to hear your perspective. So do you think that there is a reason for do you think that coin is a good system to depict the Spanish Civil War, and why not? Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I want to mention that David Doctor has been working many years in a game. You know, David Doctor,
Yeah.
he designed
Tri-
another member
Triumph
of
of
the family, the Triumph of Chaos, about the Russian Civil War, and he's working on, yeah, correct, that's the new edition. He's working on a game about the Spanish Civil War, and the years are passing, and he recognizes that that is a problematic work. Why? Because he decided to reflect more the political aspects of the Spanish Civil War,
mm,
and that is something that I decided not to avoid because they are present on the game, but to give them just not too much protagonism. Because if you start working on that part of the war, you can find yourself soon in a quagmire. It's very difficult, and sometimes I have also seen that in some games that they try to reflect those political aspects of the war. The result is not very good because
yeah.
it's something complicate, and sometimes there are aspects that are overlooked, and also other ones that were not so important, and people think that that they have to give more prominence to them. And I think that trying to answer your question, that is the thing that makes so difficult to make a coin game about the Spanish Civil War a reality. Or remember also that the designers of Trailed Struggle, they they confessed that their first intention or idea was to do a game about the Spanish Civil War, and finally they they saw that it was such a difficult task that they opted for a new subject.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, they did that because the result has been a
pretty great.
terrible success. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's interesting what you're saying about the risk of trying to depict complex political aspect and factionalism in a game that is about the kinetic aspect of the warfare, and it's interesting to show that you cannot represent everything in a game and it can become just a beast that becomes unplayable. I think it's quite a good point. But maybe
Hmm.
one last question before we start playing the game. There is a question here from Royce in the chat that is quite interesting, asking, can we use the new GMT solo system for this game? And I would expect that it is probably possible because it was made for Path of Glory, or also for Path of Glory, so it should also work for your game, right?
Yeah, yeah. Stuka, the designer of the solo system, actually one of the games he created system solo for is Crusade and Revolution, and you can find on the internet on his channel. You can
Yeah.
find videos showing the system using it for Crusade and Revolution. So yes, definitely you can use the system for Crusade and Revolution, and I suppose that for all the games from the Paths of Glory family, because after
Yeah.
all, they are, if not brothers, they are cousins.
Yeah, and he saw the system in that way that it could adapt to multiple games in the same kind of systems. And by the way, shout out to Stuka Joe, who did a lot of good videos actually about this game specifically. So that's also some content that you can go and watch after the stream, not right now. Right, and we want you to stay here. But that's great. Thanks for that. And maybe before, one last question. I have one last question. You said that originally you wanted to design a game about the Spanish Civil War because you didn't find what you wanted, but then after, while you were working on it, some other games were released. Are there what would be your couple of recommendations on other games about the Spanish Civil War that you think are also interesting to play?
There are many, because later several titles appeared and different scales. There are two good games at a strategic scale, the same as Crusade and Revolution, and totally compatible, because the system, mechanics, the length, the difficulty, they are very different. One is the Spanish Civil War by GMT from Javier Romero, and the España 1936 from Antonio Catalán. Those two games appeared a bit earlier
This one's
or
here.
later. Yeah, that is Javier Romero's The Spanish Civil War. It's a classic X-Encounter. And España 1936, published by the Beer from Antonio Catalán, is another game that is simpler, and you can play it in a morning or afternoon. I mean, in a session, and it's very very interesting also. Apart from that, at the tactical scale, recently Nico Scooby, who is known for his graphic design. He
Yeah.
made the art from Crusade and Revolution, for example, and he works for MMP. Sorry. Uh, he started a series, War Storm series, and it's a tactical series that is very quite popular among the players who prefer or who also play the tactical scale. With there are titles about the Spanish Civil War, but also about the Second World War.
Yeah.
And the first one was A las Barricadas, to the
Yeah.
barricades. Later, Normandy, I don't remember one of the Eastern Front. Well, there are several titles. And there was also a very interesting game using cards based on Magic, the card game about the Spanish Civil War. It was published, self-published by Arturo. I don't remember now the name. Arturo. I don't remember now
Yeah.
the second name, but he created it himself, And it was a very interesting game also, and called 1936 Guerra Civil.
Okay,
1936 Guerra Civil.
but only in Spanish, right? He didn't make a translated version in English or anything. Oop, and I think we lost David. You can tell me in the chat if it's the same on your side, but on my side it seems like I've lost David. So when David comes back, I'm gonna do a bit of tap dancing, and I'm gonna bring the Vassal module, because we're playing on Vassal tonight on the stream, so you can look at the board and see what the game looks like. Yeah, okay, so it also froze for you guys. Great. But then I think I would just give a bit of of a of an overview of the game. So I hope that you're enjoying what you're seeing for now, and that you're interested in the game. So this is what it looks like. So it looks pretty much like a point-to-point map, like you would find in other games in the same system. So if you've played Path of Glory or Shifting Sands, for example, or any other game of that kind, it's always the same. And maybe I can start showing a few things. So you have different location, and then those locations have different types of connections. So this is a normal one. This is typically, and I can zoom in so you can see that a bit more. When you have this dotted line, it actually means that there is a river that is crossing across. So it means that you're going to have some combat penalties for the attacker. You've got major towns, so different kinds of localization, and then you've got spaces that are mountain spaces. So this will have an impact on the overall course of the combat. And then you have the general situation. You can see the areas that are in pink color are the areas that at the beginning of the war are under control of the Republicans. And that's what, back to what David was saying, the coup in 1936 was not a success. So actually you can see that some areas, the blue ones, are taken by the nationalists, but a lot of parts of Spain are still under Republican control. And you basically have two pockets. From La Coruña to Zaragoza, you have this first pocket of nationalists, and then you have a second pocket that starts pretty close to North Africa here, and that's quite important because there was a lot of troops in Africa in the Spanish army that were actually in favor of the nationalist coup. Pretty good troops actually, and there is going to be a bit of an incentive to get those troops as fast as possible from the colonies in North Africa to the south of Spain, to try to shift a bit the course of the war, and making sure that there is a strong nationalist momentum at the beginning. So this is the overall situation, and then you have a bit of a specific edge case on the side where you have Mallorca here that is under nationalist control, and you have some ways as the Republican to build a beachhead here and try to take control of Mallorca. And one last thing that is quite important is control of the Strait of Gibraltar, which is on the Republican side at the beginning, but really fast will shift to the nationalist side. And back to what I was saying regarding the armies that are in Africa, you have actually those troops that are there, and those are really high quality troops. You can see they have a combat value of 3, so pretty strong compared to most of the pretty bad militia and police units that you can find in there. So it's quite an interesting situation to start with those two pockets, pretty poor troops, and then you have a slow influx of high quality troops coming in. I'm gonna take a minute to see what's in the chat and pause my tap dancing. And Christoph is saying, ideal moment for a surprise Volko. Yes, actually that would be perfect. I could potentially have a surprise Mark Herman, maybe, because I think he knows the game pretty well. He's watching the stream right now, and maybe he could pick up from where David left off if he cannot come back, and he actually could do the teach and play. Who knows? We'll see that. And Ibai is saying that the Vassal module is just awesome, very professional. Yeah, I think that it's a really nice Vassal module, not too scripted, but really clean. So pretty nice. And then what questions do you have? So the questions around the books and the specific mechanics, I will wait for David to be here. So Sam and Simon, I hope that David will be back, and I think it would be better if he actually answers those questions for you. I think that would be more interesting than me trying to do a lame attempt at giving some recommendations on books. And Mark is saying I could. Well, Mark, you know what? Give me 2 minutes. If David doesn't come back, I'm serious. I would actually send you the link so you can come and do the teach and play. I am super serious. If that could be that if you're up for it, of course. But I will give David a few minutes to come back. But actually, you know what? In any case, maybe what you can do is worst case scenario, be my opponent, even if he comes back, so he can teach the game and we can play against each other. So give me a second, and I'm gonna send you an email right now. We're improvising live, like literally. Oh God. Okay, so and I just received an email from David saying that he has problems with his computer. He's trying to reboot. So Mark, sending an email your way right now. Problem solving. CNR. Should have an email in your inbox right now. You need 5. Yeah, that's fair enough. And I can do a bit of tap dancing for 5 minutes. That's fair. And Royce, you're saying you purchased the first edition. Yeah. So I don't have the first edition. I only have the second deluxe one, which is magnificent. It's really a beautiful edition. The thing I think is really great, and I don't know what was the first edition like, but the second deluxe edition comes with this, and I'm going to show it full screen, with this rule book that contains the playbook, and that's 60 pages, and it's like full of history and examples of play and everything. So it's actually a pretty awesome edition. My only gripe, I would say, with the deluxe edition is that it's almost too well produced. The map is too big. Like it's, I would have liked if they actually scaled it a tiny bit smaller. But it is a really beautiful edition. And yes, Alan, Mark Herman versus Fred, that would be awesome. And that could also be Mark's revenge for. So if you haven't seen it, Mark and I both played both our games, so Fort Sumter and Red Flag over Paris, in a designer duel. So if you want to check that out, that can also be fun. But I'm pretty sure that at this game, Mark will literally completely obliterate me. So that should be fun. And Simon, I'm happy that you love the improv. I'm doing my best. I'm just doing my best. And I can see that actually Ibai is answering one question regarding book recommendation. So The Spanish Civil War by Paul Preston. Once again, I haven't. I think it would be nice to have also some input from David, but that could be also a nice starting point, I think, on that specific topic. So, well, you know what? We're in improvisation mode. I can answer that question. So, Alan is asking, with Red Flag Paris under your belt, what are you thinking about for your next design? So, well, my next design officially is going to be a Jest of Robin Hood, currently in P500, and it's now in the hands of Chechu Nieto, the Spanish graphic designer, really talented, that did a lot of coin games, and he's making the final art for this. So that would be my next published design if everything goes according to plan. I should have a nice surprise for the fans of Red Flag over Paris. So a small thing that I'm excited to announce soon, but that's not really a new design. And then I have a few smaller projects on the side. One about the Franco-Prussian War, but I will say a bit more once I'm there. And actually, I started working on a small format game for a magazine on the Battle of Algiers. But yeah, so those are the few things. But it's not. I haven't decided yet what would be the next big P500 game. Oh, and I can see that David is coming back. And hey, David, can you hear us? Oh, you're on your phone. I think you're on your phone, right?
Yeah, sorry.
No
Today
worries.
is not my day.
Yeah, and I didn't say anything, but yeah, you had a series of of complications, and it felt like I wasn't surprised when you dropped off, because I was like, it's just the next in a long sequence of problems. So the thing that is a good thing, David, is that Mark Herman is actually watching the show right now, and I sent him the link
Hmm.
to join the stream. And what we'll do is I will be playing against him the game, and you can focus on giving the context of the rules and everything, and we'll play against each other. So I think that would, so you would be a bit more comfortable, because you can be on your phone without
Perfect.
having to have Vassal. Yeah.
Yeah, and the computer doesn't work. And well, as I told you, my usual computer crashed down on Friday. And I was with my another laptop, my wife's computer. Now it also doesn't work. So with the phone, it's impossible to play because Vassal doesn't work on phone.
Yeah.
So it's great what you say.
We just have to wait a little bit, because I think he was not set up for playing, but he should come in
Mhm.
in a few minutes. But maybe while we wait for Mark to join, I guess the and I will probably have to restart a room on Vassal. Maybe what you can do is probably give an overview of what we're trying to achieve in the game, and the core concept of how a turn is structured.
Yeah. Well, as I said, if someone has played a game of the Paths of Glory family, the system will be well known for him. The main aspect of the game is that it is a card driving game. So the first thing you do in every round is you play a card. But the thing is that every card can be played in different ways. But the one key aspect of the game, and one, I would say, the sub game or a game inside the game, is that you have to decide the way you play the card. I mean, except so very few cases, you have to play the card in one way, and if you choose that way, you cannot play it for the other different action. And deciding what to do, how to play the card in each moment, I think that is probably the first thing that when we first played Paths of Glory, that was I think that the first thing that shocked us and that made us think that it was a different and very interesting game, and we have since then enjoyed it a lot. And in Crusade and Revolution also, you have to decide well when and how to play each card.
Mm.
The cards have four possible uses. The first one is the event. Every card, and this is what another aspect of the card driving games that is known. That it is great how they add Chrome and historical events in that way to the games. So playing the card as the event is just applying the text of the card, and that is the event. The other three different actions are more related to traditional war games. Operations would be operations for moving or attacking on the map, and strategic redeployment allows you to move units great distances on the map. And finally, replacements. This game, there are other games where there are not replacements, and when the units are destroyed, they are out from the game. But no, here you can play replacement to later recover eliminated units, or those that are reduced, that have been flipped on the map. You can recover them and put them at full strength. It's a
Okay.
great honor to to share the.
Yes, Mark is here. Thanks, Mark.
Herman.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
How you doing? I'm just getting the Vassal module.
Yeah, get the Vassal module, and I open a room called Mark Help. So that's so you should find it. But thanks a lot for jumping in and saving the stream, Mark. That's awesome. I owe you quite a few beers now. Yeah, that's just one more in the long list of beers I owe you.
Okay, so I've got the module. Now I just got to load it into Vassal. Here we go. Anyway, it was a lot. I had to get. I was lifeguarding my granddaughter, so I had to make sure she was inside with her mother before I could come to the computer.
Yeah, priorities. That's fair enough.
Exactly right. Open module, and this PC. It's in the downloads. There it is.
And I'm gonna bring back the. The map here. So and just for you, Mark, to know, I picked up the Republicans, and we won't do a full game. It's just.
I don't care. I mean,
yeah,
I'm the good guys then, right?
No, you're not. You're the bad guys. Because I'm gonna ask. So probably one of your first card is actually gonna be an airlift, and I'm gonna ask you, Mark. Wait a minute, you're doing an airlift to have nationalist troop coming from Africa to Spain. Who gave you the planes, Mark? I'm just curious, and maybe David, you can answer. Where are those planes coming from? I'm really curious.
I believe that
a lot of planes.
Right? Italy and Germany.
I think it's the Germans. And who was in power in Germany at that time? I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, you can put your finger on it. All right, so I see it. Mark Help. Okay, I think I'm inside.
And you're in.
Playing the nationalist, obviously.
Yeah, you take the nationalist.
All right. I'm not going to try to save or do anything. Okay, here we are. I've never used this module before. I've only ever played it face to face. Let's see. I got to find.
So you should have your hand on the top.
I'm just looking at the card. Show hide, Republican hand, show hide. Okay, so I can see my cards now.
Okay, and I'm drawing my hand of.
How many cards do I get on the first turn? I have to pull out the rules otherwise.
You get seven cards, but the airlift is mandatory, so it's going to be this one plus 6 of them. Yeah.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis.
It's perfect Spanish.
Well, it is the language I took in high school, but I really don't speak it at all. Okay, I've got cards, and obviously I have to play. We're starting. What's going on?
Yes, I guess we can jump in, and then because David, you're on the phone, so I guess the thing that you can do is probably focus on explaining what's happening and everything. So here, Mark is playing the air bridge card.
Yeah.
Well, that's mandatory.
Yeah, it's mandatory. This after the first weeks, the coup started, and where both sides, the front line more or less was not very. I mean, you have to think about 2,000 kilometers and only few thousands of combatants on both sides, but there was something similar to a front line, and the card that the nationalists could play was the Army of Africa. That was the veterans from the colonial wars in Africa that they could use and send them to the peninsula. But the problem was that the strait was controlled by the Republicans. So then begin the first military air bridge in history. Using, at first moment, only 3 or 4 airplanes they had, but later, some foreign powers, unknown for everyone, sent some kind of help with planes. And with those planes, they started moving those troops to the peninsula. So you have to play that. That starts the reinforcements. The reinforcements are in the southern part of the map, close to Africa. Those
I'm
6
pointing
units
to them now. Yeah.
They will arrive at the second and fifth round in every turn, and the player also can activate for movement or combat. Because here you have to choose. If you activate one space, it must be for combat or movement.
Yeah, and
Sevilla and another one.
Yeah, so I am going to. So typically, what happens is I have an isolated force, I believe, in Granada at the beginning. Yes, there it is. And there's a couple of things you got to try to do here, but the first thing is I want to make sure
you're isolated here and here, but I guess you're trying to make that connection between the two sides of the front to make sure that you can do more than one attack on that side.
But also, I mean, I've played this a few times. You go, how do I make that red thing happen? That little red circle thing happen? How do you do that where you make like the thing pulse?
Oh, it's I think on a PC it's Alt click, or if you're on a Mac it's Option click.
So the thing I always remember is there's obviously you got to be careful about this space. You got to be, because our supply line is coming in through here, and so there's a little bit of weakness here. It's sometimes I've seen very aggressive, attack.
Republican,
jumping in here, and so Sevilla is activated. Then the other question is, do I want to make an attack? So, and I can move and attack differently on each space, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, you activate 2 spaces, and one can move, and the other could attack. Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, anyway, Sevilla.
One must be Sevilla.
One must be Sevilla.
Sevilla is going to be a move action, and Cordoba is going to be an attack action. Okay. Into Loja.
So I'm gonna and you can right click and do activate for combat, and Sevilla
I got it now. Okay. Activate for combat and activate for movement. Yes.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Wait, I didn't do that one.
No, I did it.
Prego de Cordoba, not the Cordoba.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Sorry.
I'll let you fix that.
Yeah,
and you also have to put a 1 number on my. I forget where the action track is on this thing, but we got to put a 1 on that I ran an event on the first move.
Yeah,
and I think I can.
I found it. So once per turn, ops, other event. Did you do it?
No. So I'm gonna tick your first action, and that's gonna be event, and I'm gonna place it here.
Okay, good. Okay, so. For the move part of it, I'm going to take, not this guy. This guy is just going to go here, just to kind of create a little bit more of a front. And now I've got a division attack, and I think you got a mountain here or something, don't you? Yeah. So that's gonna be a little bit of a problem. So I got to roll really well. So where are the dice on this thing?
And so, just for people watching,
there are many mountains in Spain.
The campaign will give a column shift to the left, and also even if you win, it will block the retreat, I think. Mountain cancel the retreat.
Cancel retreat, but suffering an additional
for a step loss. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to.
And remember that if you mark for movement, and if any unit doesn't move, you can try to build a position in that space.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with the move. I wanted to get somebody into that space, and I'm going to attack this guy. I don't know that this attack ever really works well, but it's a teach, so what do I care? I'm looking for the dice. So
just to be clear, so you're attacking from the south of Cordoba to Loja, or
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm just looking I'm trying to put a CRT in my hand, which is in the box here. I have both editions, but the one that I have where I am is the. I find that the first edition, the advantage of the first edition is it's a 1-map game. The second edition, which is magnificent, is a 2-map game, and so it's much easier for me to set up a 1-map game.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier when David was disconnected. I was mildly complaining about the map being too big, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. So I've got 2 factors firing, shifting over 1, correct? On the division size units table. Am I got that right?
Yeah, so you would be on the division side. So you're normally on column 2 because you're attacking mountain, you're going to be rolling on column 1.
All right, and then you're rolling on column 1 also, I believe.
Yeah, because I have a 1 combat factor.
So,
And
I hit these 2 dice, we'll get the die rolls, correct?
You'll have the both dice. So
Well,
the blue one,
anytime just as a general rule, the attacker, whatever the first result is the attacker, the second result is the defender. Okay.
I think it will tell you that one is nationalist.
The program tells you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the program tells you which die is for.
That's beautiful.
For which person.
Anyway, so I missed and you missed. Nothing happened.
So so just for context for the people watching, so because they might not know, so here Mark is attacking with this unit to that space. What you can see, the first number here is the attack value of the unit. So this one has an attack value of 2, mine has an attack value of 1, and the number in the middle is the damage that it has to take a step loss. So Mark roll on the combat table, and because he's attacking a mountain, he's rolling on the 1 rather than the 2 strength. And he rolled the 2, and well, if you have the combat result table in front of you, you can check, but if not, you'll have to trust me. Doesn't do any damage.
Well,
and I rolled a 3.
You needed a 4, 5, or 6 is what we needed.
Exactly, yeah, 4, 5, or 6 to actually do damage. So we're not doing any damage to each other.
It was just a lot of gunfire. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
So that is the first card.
What you could do now?
Used some kind of combat card. Just for the people.
Oh yeah,
remember that.
Well, I didn't actually look at the cards that carefully. Let me just see what I even have. I was just trying to get the thing going for you, Fred. So I was just moving along here, you know.
But the thing that you could do though before you end your turn is because you have 2 units that haven't moved in Sevilla, you could make an attempt to place a position there to have a stronger position in Sevilla, because you're not doing anything with those units anyway, so it's not.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get the zoom. See, fit the width. Okay, good. Now I can see my cards, and I'm just looking at my cards very quickly, and. Okay. Well, anyway, I didn't choose to. Since I didn't say I was going to use a combat card. I'm not going to use a combat card.
You can use it for next.
I save it for a rainy day here.
Yeah, and then you can make your attempt for the position in Sevilla.
Yeah,
so I think it's on the roll.
What is that roll? I know it's a roll.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you fail, you will have a -1 DRM for the next one.
I rolled a 2.
Perfect, but then you have it. I think you can probably right-click and place a position. I think.
Let me see. Activate, send reserve.
They are in units. In the units.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring it up for you.
Just throw in my fortification into Sevilla.
Boop.
Very nice. Okay, I have a position. So now it is your card, Fred.
I go. Okay.
If you saw my recent, I don't know if you've seen the C3I 35, but I wrote a piece. My corner is about sequence of play, and there are just. This is an alternating sequence. I'm getting tired of people talking like worker placement or CDG or whatever, but really this is an alternating sequence of play, just like a lot of other games, even if they have cards and they don't have cards. So I go, you go, in a limited way. So it's over to you. What are you going to do, Fred?
I'm thinking about it. I'm just.
What are you thinking about it? I didn't think about it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's your mistake.
You're so serious, Fred. So serious.
No. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something that I think I need to do straight away, and I'm gonna explain why I'm doing it. I'm gonna play the 2-ups card, and I'm gonna play it for the event. So this one is intellectual and artists favor the Republic, and it increases the Republican morale by 1. And before I let David explain what the Republican morale does in this game, the reason I'm playing it is that because that event has a small star on it, and it means that as soon as I play it for the event, the card is going to be removed from the game. And I'm pretty happy with removing the 2-ups card from my deck, so I can have a deck that has a higher ups average, I would say.
And that is a feature of the Paths of Glory version of the CDG family, because deck management, there is no deck management in the ones that I've done, but that is a thing, that is a feature here.
And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm marking that I'm playing for the event. I discard this, and I do the effect of +1 morale. And maybe David, you want to explain what morale does in the game?
Yeah, here I decided to not include only one. I mean the victory points. But I decided to include also the Republican morale, and usually they go more or less in the same way. I mean, the nationalist was to increase the victory points, and as he increases those victory points, the Republican morale also decreases. But there are enough differences that make it interesting, because first, at the end of the game, the victory points determine who wins and who loses. But along the game, there are automatic victory conditions, and they are based on Republican morale. So if, for example, the nationalist plays the game, and as it historically happened, he doesn't progress at the correct pace. I mean, he doesn't accomplish objectives, because in the Spanish Civil War, there were, of course, Republican counterattacks and counteroffensives, but the main offensive, the initiative, always was in the nationalist hands. So if you don't progress regularly, you could be in trouble, because the Republican has the time is on his side. So the game is a bit a race against the clock for the nationalist, and Republican morale marks that aspect of the game, and is connected to several events and things that are different from the victory points, and they are more connected with some other political or social or economical aspects of the game. And so sometimes players must decide if they want to pay more or less attention to the morale, and later they will see if it was a correct election or they committed a mistake.
Good. Thankfully, we won't see that, because we won't go through the end of the game, so that should be fine. It's your turn now, Mark.
So, am I right that the African unit comes in now?
Yes, turn now 1, round 2. You have the African unit that can come
one of the
either.
reasons why, again, I'm playing from memory here. One of the reasons why I also move out of Sevilla into where I moved that unit is you can only stack 3 high, and that allows me to bring this African unit right into Sevilla.
Yeah, because you can bring it either in Sevilla or in Cadiz.
Right, but if I couldn't bring it in Sevilla if I hadn't moved that unit out, because then it would be overstacked.
Good. And that's the case, right, David? The stacking limit is 3 divisions?
Yeah, it's 3. 3 independent from the type of units. I mean, later when, because, we haven't not mentioned that now in the War of the Columns phase, players only use small units or division side units. Later, starting on turn 6, the war developed, and both sides recruited men, and the armies went larger, and the first corps-sized units start. But it does not matter if the unit is small or large. You only can have 3 units in the same space.
Good. Then, Mark, now that you have those killer troops.
Okay, so I'm going to play this card as I'm just going to try to get it onto the board here and get it out of the way. So I'm going to play this as a 2 card. So this is an ops play. Do you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. So that's normally a combat
card.
The
problem you have with the nationals is again, like the Paths of Glory, there's a lot of prerequisite cards. So I don't have this. I have to play this Axis Military 8 event before a lot of these cards become useful. So that's always a thing in this game. So what I'm going to do is I'm activating 2 hexes, 2 spaces, I should say. There's no hexes. Activate for combat, and let me see what I can do up here. I don't like this situation. Another mount, lots of mountains. We're going to have to. I don't know that this is a great attack. I need more pieces. Is there anything going on up here that I like? You got one thing about this game also. There's a lot of little places where you could make an interesting attack, but I'm pretty much, there's no. You don't have any concentrated forces at the beginning, other than what is the penalty for out of supply again?
Not being supplied is very bad in this game because the unit cannot do anything.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So the guys in Granada,
the ones that no, the isolated spaces, they have they have supplies to survive. They can move, but they cannot attack. So they are waiting for their comrades to liberate them.
I'm going to try to give Fred a problem first, and then we'll see if we can't. Well, I'm going to repeat this attack again because I don't have any other good moves over here, and there's not much up here that looks all that. This is like 2 units here. Yeah, you got too much forces here. Got too much forces there. Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Whew. Do you want to start with the small fight first or the big one?
Yeah, we'll do the small fight first. So it's the same as before. It's the
2 to 1
column rolling
but
2.
But you roll on the 1, and we both do 6.
So I think we did some damage here.
Both give 1 damage to the other.
Okay, that's good. Let's see, flip, and that goes away. Delete. Now this one, I am going to attack into. What is that? Santa Olalla? I can't really see it that well. So I've got, what do I got here?
You have way too many units. That's what you have.
I have 8 this time, which is much better, which puts me to the maximum column.
That's brutal. And I have 1. So 8 to 1. Wait a minute. Maybe I can think if I want to play a combat card or not.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I got to tell you first.
Anyway,
hang on. I got to tell you first if I'm playing combat cards. Hang on 1 second.
David, you can surpass the rightest column. I mean, you in this case start in the 7th column, and you have 1 column to the left for the river. So the nationalist will throw on the 6th column.
Yeah. Right. There's a river there. I see it now.
Yeah. But still, it's not great.
So I'm not playing a combat card.
You're not playing a combat card?
I'm not. So you can.
And I'm not playing a combat card either.
All right, toss in a couple of dice here.
So 2-2.
Well,
so you're gonna give me
6 is gonna be enough to kill you.
Yeah, 2 damage, and I'm dead. And with me being on 1, 2, I'm not doing anything. So I'm gonna eliminate that unit.
Yep. Okay. And
that is bad for the Republican. Because remember that when an African elite units attack, they must suffer the first loss.
But losses,
so not suffering losses with those units is only good news for the nationalist.
And wait, that's not what I want to do. Hang on. You come back here. You go here. And you come back here. Okay. So that will create a little bit of a problem for you as your front line has been busted down there.
There's a bit of a hole in the middle.
And we have to put the marker. And one thing I always forget to do, let me do it here, is this is an ops card play. And there we go. I'm done.
Okay, I'm discarding your card, and now I need to fill in the gap. It's a good thing that you left that unit in Sevilla, because an alternative could have been me just taking going behind you, but that's not really a possibility.
No. This game, you got to play continuous fronts in this game. Pay attention to that.
That's not an option.
Yeah.
I guess the thing that I can do is, okay, I'm gonna go big. And what I'm going to do is playing that 5 ops card, and I cannot play the event on turn 1 anyway. So I'm gonna play it for activations.
Wow.
And I'm gonna activate this for movement, and then I'm gonna do something funny that I think you'd like. I'm gonna activate 3 stacks for attack. So activate for combat, and activate for combat, because I'm gonna attack that. So I will give you another problem if everything goes well. So that should be.
No,
and then
I'm just gonna advance and crush you. It doesn't really matter.
And I have one last activation, and I'm thinking, what could be my other activation? Ça peut aller là, ça peut aller là. Is there anything else that I could do? I have that unit in Valencia that is useless, but I might need it to go to Mallorca in the future, so I don't want to move it. And I'm thinking maybe that stack in Madrid, maybe there is one thing that I can do here. I have a position here. I think what I will do is I will activate this one for movement, and I will not move. What I will do is roll for a position.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll 1 die, and I roll a 1, and that's a success. So I'm going to bring in a position here.
Where did you bring the position in?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotcha. Okay.
Just northwest of Cordoba. Then this unit in Rio Tinto, I'm going to move it, so its movement value is 3, but I don't think can he move and attack, or it's either he can only attack it.
This is Paths of Glory. No.
That's a golden rule. You cannot finish your movement in a space activated for combat.
Yeah, so I'm going to do 1, 2. I don't know if I want to stay just next to you or if I want to force you to extend a bit. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 like this.
And so it begins.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm activating those 3 units to attack Trujillo. And the thing is that they are not all of them going through the river. One of them is going through plain, so I won't have the column shift normally, right?
And so, you have at least one unit not being militia in not the first space, but remember you have militia's lack of coordination is a rule that avoids attacking from different spaces to the same space, unless you have in each not the first space but the second and the others, you must have at least one non-militia unit.
And I have a police unit here, so that means that perfect. I can do the classic attack. So I'm rolling
a combat card in the. Are you playing a combat card there, young man?
No, I'm not playing a combat card. Are you? Ugh. What have you done? What is it?
Yeah, your political unit is gone. He walked off the field. He's not happy.
Oh God. Why are you like that?
I have to be like this.
That's awful. So it means that my political unit is not attacking?
No, he's eliminated.
Oh God, that's awful.
Eliminated
from the game. He's like gone. He's like, evaporated into nowhere.
But does it the combat still happens then, David? Because I don't have that
the combat happens, but you have lost that force or that strength point.
Okay. So that means that I'm at 2-1.
Yep.
And I roll. You roll a 1, I roll a 6.
So you flip me for 1.
Yeah. That's not what I wanted.
It is what I wanted, though.
But with the police, you would have destroyed the unit.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, but very sad.
But the good news is now a hole that I can exploit.
You must retreat 1 space.
Yeah, you must retreat because there was a difference of 1 between the
1 to 0.
Yeah, to the damage that I gave you.
Okay.
And I could advance.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking about it. The thing is, if I advance, I'm exposing to a pretty brutal attack from both Caceres.
Are there other control markers in it? Like, I own Santa Olalla right now. If I leave it, do I still control it?
Yeah, you can place a control marker on it. Yeah,
because I'm going to need to.
Yeah. This vassal module must be updated because there is another version, but not in English. In Spanish.
Yeah, I saw that the Spanish version has all the updates. Yeah.
I like that discrimination.
When you move, automatically the space changes control, but in this one we must still update it.
Where's the control marker by the way?
That's what I'm trying to look for.
Yeah, there is a folder for different markers. It's like a puzzle pieces, the symbol more or less.
Let's see.
Yeah, okay, I can see it. Yeah, I can find it. Nationalist control here. I'm gonna put it here.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm not gonna advance, so it's gonna be your turn, Mark.
Yeah. So now the question is, now once I take these 2 spaces, the ammunition thing goes away, doesn't it?
Yeah. Once you make that connection, you can. Yeah. You don't have that limit. Yeah.
Yep. So we're obviously going to exploit that situation. So I need to play a card, and we'll play.
Bordel.
Hey, it's not my first rodeo with this game. So I'm going to activate Quelva.
So you're playing this for ups?
Yeah. Well, I can't. See, I haven't played Axis Military Aid yet, so that's not even an option.
Mm-hmm.
And no,
I think it's your last. No, it's unlimited. Yeah.
Let me see.
So I'm gonna place this one here.
Yeah. Hang on, Fred. Stop touching the map. You're making me crazy.
You need to go in preferences and stop and not center on opponent's moves. If not, you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I'm already crazy. Let's see. Yeah, I won't get this other African unit for a moment, so we'll have to. So what we will do is Cordoba is going to get. I'm just going to roll for Cordoba for a position. Okay. So rolling for position for Cordoba. Succeed. Yes. 1 through 3.
Yeah, you do succeed. Do you want me to bring you?
Yeah, please. I don't know where. Just bring a position there.
Yeah. Here you go.
Now, this cavalry unit, let's see. So the first guy is going to go 1. I already control that. I need to 1.
Yeah.
Now, when I go
remember that you can only pass through 2 enemy spaces in the same round. That's an important change from Paths of Glory.
Yeah,
you
so
can
you would
move
be able
4
to.
spaces with cavalry.
Watch this move, and you tell me I'm doing it illegally. I would go 1, controlled. 2.
Oh, but we don't see you moving actually.
All right. Well, I'll tell you the path. So what I'm doing is the cav unit went to Sevilla, then it went to what is this? It went to Santa Olalla. Now those are all controlled spaces. Then I went into Safra, which is my first enemy controlled space, and then I went to Merida. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And automatic, when you connect your two zones, that is something that happens. This is enough. I mean, in the game, so you would cancel the lack of ammunition. There is a marker to the left of the map, and so that rule disappears, and the nationalist may activate as many spaces as he wishes for combat in the north. Well, now in all the map.
Hang on, and this guy is going to go there. So I have solved my ammunition problem, and I think that's not a bad move for me. So I will end that there.
That's decent. It's a decent move. 1, 2, 3.
Now, is this guy in Badajoz? Is he out of supply?
No, there's the Badajoz supply, so I can actually with him I could do 1, 2, and then go here.
Yeah, all right. Then I want to change. Then this guy's going to stay here, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And he's going to roll for position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I had to ask that question, and he got a position there.
Yeah. I'm going to bring
anyway. The nationalists could receive supply from the north, because there are also supply sources in the north. So, I mean, that Republican unit probably would get. Yeah, it would be a journey to his own destruction.
Well, I think the main point is that once I get the ammunition problem solved, if he cuts it, do I go back to ammunition shortage again, or I don't do that? Did you hear my question? In other words, once I do this, once the ammunition shortage is over, it can't come back. Yes.
I don't know if I understand.
So the question is
Badajoz, about the. Yeah.
If I cut him again, does the limitation of
no? That's why I was underlining that this happens once in the game, and once you connect to the two zones, the lorries with ammunition have passed, and they have enough ammunition for the next weeks.
See, Fred, so not a bad first. So I accept this as a decent first.
I do not accept it.
Thanks to the defection.
Yeah, well,
that is something that I had never seen before. Because that attack is quite strange, using so many operations. But of course, the defection card has created that situation, helping the nationalist a lot.
So I showed you something you never saw before. I feel like it's a good day already.
Yeah.
Thanks to Fred.
It's like I've done something that is so insane, that is so stupid that we've never seen it before.
Well, no, you actually would have succeeded if it wasn't for the card.
I think it would have. Yeah.
And it just so happened the police unit was exactly where I wanted it to be. So I looked at it. I said, well, if he ever does anything up there, I'm going to do this, and then it worked out. So. The beautiful thing of card-driven games.
Anyway, one thing. Well, now it doesn't matter. But was there any other police force taking part in the combat?
No, it was the only one.
Would have. It was the only one. Okay, because with the phone, I see things very small. Because if there are more than one unit, Fred could choose which unit disappears, and that way he could at least choose the least.
Less painful.
Yeah,
but unfortunately it was the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, I owe Fred some comeback from that debacle of playing him Red Paris and Fort Sumter. So I'm just looking for a little. This is more my.
Yeah, I think that's only fair. I'm literally letting you win right now. That's what I'm.
Oh yeah. You wouldn't let your mother win. You kidding me? What are you doing, Fred? You playing this? Is this as an event or an ops?
As ops. I cannot play it as an event.
Oh yeah. It's not. You can't play before turn 3, right?
Yeah. So and I'm gonna activate this for movement. So I'm activating one for movement, and I'm gonna move that police unit into the mountains here, and then I'm gonna use that unit that didn't move to build a position
in Madrid.
And I roll a 5, so it's a fail. So I'm gonna put a marker to say that I will have -1 for the next one, and I'm gonna check if I find this. Is it on the other side? No, it's not.
No, there is a different marker. You will find it there.
Yeah, fortification bonus -1. So I'm going to place it here. So next time I try, I will have -1. Perfect. So I'm putting it here. So that's good. And then I'm doing an attack, and I'm attacking from Badajoz and Castuera against your African unit here.
Okay.
And I'm attacking the Africans because they have this black dot, and the black dot shows that they cannot be replaced. So every damage that I can give them is an investment in the future. So
but the good news is I can't miss on the 3 column.
And me neither. I'm also rolling on the 3 column, so no one can miss.
Oh yeah, you got I did see those 2 units there. Okay, well, roll the dice, Fred.
I'm just checking if I'm playing a combat card.
Mino, remember also in turn 1, any attack with militias has -1 to the die.
I know, but I also have another. I also have an RPA unit, so it's not only militia.
No, but if at least 1 militia unit takes part, it's enough.
Okay, fair enough.
Their presence,
so So I will have -1 on the DRM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing
troubles.
I'm not playing a combat card. So
I'm not playing a combat card either.
Okay, then I'm rolling. And I roll a 6 -1. That's a 5. That's still 2 step losses for you.
Oh, that kills him.
Ooh.
That kills it. Yep.
Yeah.
And I got a 3, which is only a 1 hit, I think.
Yes, it's only a 1, and I'm gonna take the hit.
Yeah.
On that militia unit here.
Yeah. That hurts.
Yeah, it hurt. Yeah, what are you gonna do? He rolled a 6. I played Rebel Fury with my wife last night.
Was lucky.
My wife couldn't miss on a die roll last night. She killed me.
And I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, Nancy isn't going to hurt me anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm going to delete this and just move with that, just for as a matter of principle. But it's probably going to die.
No, it's fine. I'm quite happy with that result.
Back to you.
It's over to me. Well, get rid of your card here and discard this.
Yep.
Now, so this one, I am going to, it's been a while, but I believe I can play a 1-op event. Yes, 1-op. Right? Without playing a card?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but you're doing it on mine. You do it here.
Yeah, I did it already.
Yeah, you may play in these games. You can play 1 round without playing a card, but you only receive 1 operation. So it's a very limited action. But sometimes you want to do that because you don't have cards, or because you want to save cards, or for any other reason.
Yeah. So by the way, what round is this?
So that's round 4.
This is round 4. Okay. So I've moved that African unit. I don't care about the position. He's moved over to adjacent to Loja, whatever that is. Okay. You're playing Fred.
Loja.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is where you're going.
I barely passed Spanish. It was
okay.
I can help you with.
Interesting. I guess it's now probably a good time for me to play replacements. I'm going to play. Wait a minute. What's my constraint here? So I have a card here that I cannot play before turn 3. So 4, and I'm gonna play it for SRs. No, not for SR. I'm gonna play it for replacements. Yeah.
Replacement. SR, you're gonna move guys from your
RPs.
RPs.
Yeah. So for it's cost me half an RP for a step of a division, meaning that I can do. So this one I can flip back. So that's
but wait, Fred.
Oh.
You
No.
just mark them, and you will spend them at the end of the turn.
Yeah,
yes.
You gotta play the game. I was looking, going like, how's he gonna be able to do that?
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's bad. Okay, actually, that's really a bad idea. So then I'm actually gonna use the strategic redeployment. And with the strategic redeployment, I can use units from the Republican Reserve and bring them in.
Yeah, a division's 1 and a corps 3. Is that how it is?
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think that's it. So strategic redeployment. Yeah, that's one strategic redeployment.
Now, just as an aside, you can do that safely now because there's no core units in the game. But later on, you always want to have guys there. Am I correct? So if a core gets like knocked out, it can't be replaced, and it goes down to a division. If you don't have a division to replace it with, it just gets eliminated.
So I'm bringing this in. I think I'm going to bring it here because that's a bit of a weak spot that I have here. And then I can move another unit.
Yeah, 2 in total, because you have that -1.
Oh yeah, I have the -1. Okay, so that's but then it's my 2 because I have 3 ops, -1, so that's 2, and I just did 2. So that's it for me. That was my strategic redeployment phase. So I'm gonna discard that.
Okay, so this is the 5th round, and so we get another professional military unit shows up in Sevilla.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. And we're now going to play. Let me see.
I still can't believe you poked a hole in the middle of my.
You can believe it.
What happened?
Yeah, but
okay,
you
so
were very lucky later. That attack was very lucky. Anyway, as I always say, if you are lucky, it's also because you launched the attack, so you committed the operations. But that 6 was very, very good for you.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah,
I feel pain. So you did 2 for activations. Okay.
Yep.
So 1 movement, 1 combat.
Yeah. So let me go back to this little thing here. 5 was an ops play. And...
but you keep moving mine, Mark. Red is me. You're blue.
All right, well, fix it. I don't give a care.
Yeah, I'm fixing it for you. That's fine.
Fix it, will you? I'm not running the show here. You are. Okay, so I've got an attack, and we're going to go after Loja. Loja, right?
Loja.
Loja. I got it right.
Loja.
Okay. So I've got an attack of 4. And you've got a defense of, you've got a shot of 1 because this other guy's only a defender.
Yeah, but you're 4, but you go on the left because you're attacking the wrong thing. Yeah. Just saying.
I'm on the 3 column. I got it.
Yeah, and you give me 1 step, whatever you roll.
You want to play a combat card?
I'm going to check because I might need to play a combat card right now.
Okay, well, that's why I'm giving you this option.
No, you say first if you want to play a combat card.
I said I am not playing a combat card.
And I am not playing a combat card either.
There you go. See, it wasn't that hard, Fred. It wasn't that hard. Okay, so I'm rolling some dice here, and I got a 5 on the 3 column, which is a 2-hitter.
Ugh.
And you got a 6 on the 1 column, which is a 1-hitter. So I beat you by 1.
Yeah, but and I need to get 2 step losses.
Yeah, and I take 1 step loss, which means the African unit is going to flip.
Actually, this one is going to be dead enemy.
Doesn't he have to retreat?
Yeah, I have to retreat because if I want to stay in there,
right?
I have to take an additional step loss.
Yeah, which means you'll open the head space up anyway. So you got to leave. You got to go to Malaga or.
Yeah. don't like that a lot.
Yeah.
But you're gonna open up those units in.
Well, that was the whole idea. I mean, in the beginning of the game, this is very chess-like in the beginning for the nationalists, and we're going to send
with very few units. The nationalist, the problem he has is that he has very few units. They are counted.
And does the
so does this
isolated marker? Does it get removed straight away?
Yeah. You remove it, and now Granada is a normal space. Remember, in this case, if the Republican manages to isolate it, it would be out of supply, not an isolated space again.
Not isolated, yeah.
However, the more interesting thing is you've got all those guys on the coast, and you can lose a lot of units on the coast if you're not careful. I just want to point that out, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm looking at right now, because now in Granada you have a combat strength of 2, and a success here against Motril could be a big problem.
Well, I mean, I would rack up all those units and
anyway.
Yeah,
Malaga has a port, and so you receive supply from Malaga, but is the key space in that part of the map.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be isolated. They wouldn't be out of supply. Yeah. The problem is that I already played my event to get rid of a card, but I want. But events are unlimited actually, so I could play another event.
Yeah,
I should have. Yeah,
operations and events, you can play them as many times as you like. What you couldn't do now is another strategic redeployment, because that action you cannot play it in consecutive rounds.
Yeah.
By the way, can you save? You can save RPs, or you cannot. You have to use them that turn.
I think you have to use it that turn. You cannot accumulate them turn over turn.
Yeah, I thought that's the case, but I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Ça va me coûter 1.
I know what I'm going to do.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go big. I'm going to put 5 points for RPs.
Ooh.
Well, you're going to get 4 RPs. You don't get 5.
It's 5, I get 4, but still, it's yeah. And I guess
what is marked in the bottom of the card, and you only receive the Republican points because those represent the resources that the country produces, your side, and the others, the Soviet, would represent the aid from the Soviet Union, mainly material.
Yeah, but can he play it? He's not playing that. He's getting 4 Republican, right?
Yeah, I'm getting just 4 Republican, and it doesn't have any Soviet reinforcement on it because it is the card that actually triggers Soviet aid, but I couldn't play it on turn 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my last card play, correct?
Yep.
And it will be a RP card. So put a little marker here, and we are playing. I'll get it onto the board here. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
I got 3 nationalist RPs.
Yeah.
So
and you don't get the access yet. Yeah.
No, I can't. I mean, it's event but I can't do anything yet. The other the Axis powers have not yet gotten into this game here. So I don't know where the RP thing is.
No, I can move it for you. It was 3 RP, right?
3, yes, 3 nationalists. I don't get the other ones.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's good. And then it's gonna be my last card of the round.
What you doing?
Not sure. I think I wanna. It's gonna be the. I think it's gonna be the last. The last attempt. So I think maybe I should do a. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play this for ups again, for my 6 activation. And I'm just trying to find a kind of a weak point here.
They're all weak points. Everything's just a little division, but that's your problem. You're attacking. It's hard when you only have little divisions.
2 contre 2.
Yeah. I see that Freddy's quite an aggressive player.
Yeah, he's just he just likes to charge machine guns. That's his thing.
And main city, what it is, 1 left. So I would roll on the 2 table. Yeah, but I feel like if I don't give him problems, it's
No, the thing you got to remember. This is Paths of Glory, and I will tell you that supply lines. Yeah, you've got, if you attack now, and let's just say that even if you're successful, you don't have any really good attacks coming up here.
No, it would cost me a lot of activations, and that wouldn't be useful. There is one that I want to do, but I'm not ready for it yet. So that's just
this is one where you need to like clean up your lines. You got a free move to just clean stuff up. And I think that, and I'm going to lose. And by the way, just so you know, I'm going to lose I got a bunch of isolated spaces I couldn't get to. So you got a couple up in the north that's going to go your way.
Yeah. So those ones, that's going to be good. And that's what the thing that I'm looking in the north, if there is anything that I can do. But the north is, you could have attacked there, but you haven't done anything, so I don't really have to react to anything here. So I'm pretty happy with the position that I'm in. Thinking that I could potentially prepare for the future, but I have the mountains here really protecting me, so that's pretty good. I'm just thinking that maybe I could move stuff around. That unit is useless right now. 1, 2, 3, ça sert à rien. 1, 2. I'm a bit worried about that, I guess. But yeah, I think I'm just going to actually, there is something funny that I could do. I'm going to activate this for movement, and then I'm going to.
So that's one move. How many you got? 3 with the other
3,
ones?
yeah. I have 3, and I'm just looking at spaces where I think you're gonna probably do a big push. I'm gonna activate. I guess this one for movement. Yeah, and my third one is going to be, I have a lonely unit here that is useless that I'm gonna activate for. Also activate for movement. So this one, I'm going to use that unit here, and it's going to do 1, 2, 3. just for my own satisfaction.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah, it's just for that. It's just for to make me feel good. And wait a minute, is there something like Republican control? If I clone this, oh no. And I flip it. Can I flip it? Yeah, perfect. I can do that. And then I'm going to roll for position. And it's a fail, so I'm getting the -1 for the next one. Boop. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to try to roll for fortification. And it's also a fail, so I'm also adding this here. And then I'm going to move here. And I think that what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3. I think that for now I'm going to go here. And I'm going to clean up. That was my 6 action for up. And I'm going to discard this. And that would be the end of the action phase.
That's correct.
Correct.
Nice.
And now you should spend your replacements, and after you, the nationalist. And after spending replacements, the next turn begins again.
So don't we have the attrition? The attrition phase first?
Yeah, attrition. Yeah, but attrition happens at the end of your 6th round. This is a change. Well, actually, I use it when I play also Paths of Glory, because if the attrition was at the end of the turn, the player who moves the last one would have an advantage for moving the last, because you could leave the enemy out of supply and he couldn't do anything before the turn ends and he would be destroyed. This way, this happens at the end of the 6th round. You have always time to try to rescue those units. So attrition would have happened before.
Wait, but you're saying at the end of the 6th round.
But your own units. But there were no
there was nobody
out of supply unit, so there was no attrition.
Yeah, okay, but that makes sense. Good. So the attrition.
That's a good change.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So the attrition phase is done. So now we do the replacements, and I go first, and I have 4 steps to do. So that's gonna flip. That's gonna be half a point. I'm gonna flip that. That's gonna be 1 point. I have 3 points left. How much does it cost to have eliminated units being brought back? So to bring them back in the reserve, is it 2 points to bring them back at full strength?
No, it's the same cost. I mean, was half a point for each step. So for half a point, you can recover it at half strength, or 1 point to recover it full strength.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, well, I'm not gonna the militia. I don't care that much. I'm gonna do the police for 1. So that's 1 point.
Anyway, if it was the police destroyed by the car, is eliminated from the game.
No, it was another. It was another one.
It was another one. Okay.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yes. Yeah. The other one, Mark was really insistent on me removing it from the game.
Well, I it's a mistake I didn't want you to make.
2, and I have 1 point left. 1 point left. What can I do with that point left? Do I have stuff that is damaged somewhere? Oh, actually, yes, I have this that I can flip, bring back to full strength, and then maybe maybe not the one in Huelva. That was a bit dumb. Actually, yes, I'm going to do that, and that's it. So that's my replacement, and now you can do your.
Okay, so this is. I'll count them out as I go. Stop touching the board, Fred.
Sorry, I'm not touching anything anymore.
Take your hands off the case. Half a point, a full point.
Oh, and David, do I get the DRM modifier for fortification? They stay from one turn to another, right?
Yes, you keep that.
Yeah.
I'm up to 2.
Yeah.
I have 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had 3.
Unless you leave the space vacant.
Yeah.
There must be only always one unit to keep the marker, the modification.
Okay, I spent my 3.
Okay, so now what you can do is eliminate position and trenches that you don't want to keep because you have a limited number of them. So, but you still have a lot.
Oh, wait 1 second.
Yeah, this time.
Wait 1 second. I flipped. This guy's flipping.
Yeah.
And this guy up here is, I think it was this one, does not flip. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
They were stacked. I didn't see it.
Great.
Right. So,
but yeah,
taking my
no voluntary removal of position of trenches.
Nope.
And I guess now we remove. So when do we remove the isolated units? They stay there
until turn 5.
Until turn 5.
Yeah. They still have time.
Yeah.
At the end of turn 5, they would become out of supply. So still the nationalists will have the turn 6 to try.
Yeah, to try and fix it. He still has a lot of time to do that.
I'm not worried about it. We were not going to play that long. So,
and actually, we're going to stop after first turn.
So that's right. So we're done. But so I would like to hear your thoughts on what you saw. Was it just disastrous looking there?
And it's to you, David. What do you think about our high level play with Mark and I?
It was great to see you both playing. So I was so delighted that I couldn't analyze the quality of the movements. Now I think
that what a gentleman!
You played well. We saw.
What a gentleman!
We saw all type of actions. It was, I think, that very good for the viewers, because they saw all kind of actions, events, replacements, strategic redeployment, and many ops. And I think that they also saw the part of the strategies or the things that both players must do in the beginning of the game. But I'm happy with the game in that aspect. That people say that even with the same deployment, in a very few actions, they saw, and depending on the cards you have, you can try the different strategies, and games go different. Also, of course, you must follow some historical paths. For example, for the nationalists, is very important to connect his both sides, and still trying to connect with the isolated spaces and looking for the first objectives.
Yeah.
But you can decide what to do and what to do first and second, and things I think that can go very different from one game to another. That's good, of course.
One question there from
you, Fred. The one thing, again, I haven't played in way too long, although there was a period of time I played this a lot, David. I think you knew that. We played it in a face-to-face, not like a solitaire or anything like that. And I think that the one weakness I see in Fred's position is, tell me how to say MOTNIL. How do you say that correctly?
Can you point at it?
Oh yeah. Wait, I gotta go Alt.
Motril. Here.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So the problem I see for I'm gonna go first, right? That's the other important thing. And I'm guaranteeing you that I'm going straight at the face from Granada. And when you made your last moves in position, I thought if I was you, I would have taken these two units at Antequera and what was that, Ronda, and I would have pulled them back and reinforced Vélez, Malaga, and that location with another strength point, just to try to hold on to them. And then you could keep Malaga open. But right now, I mean, I'm not saying how the die rolls would go, but there's a very good chance that even if I don't take it, you're going to be forced to do that anyway, because you're not going to be able to. Remember, this is a Paths of Glory, and getting cut out of supply will kill you in this game.
Yeah, but the thing is that I still have Malaga as a port.
Correct, but again, nobody's getting to it.
Yeah, but
it's a pocket, and I have all these guys around you, and I'll just kill that pocket. And again, in the beginning of the game, there's not much else for me to do with the Nationals until I start to get the foreign powers into the game and get more Africans into the game and all that stuff.
Yeah, because you have them coming up straight out of round 2 on the next turn, so that they start to build up really well.
Yeah,
there was
like I said, once this is, then I'm bringing guys into Sevilla, and I'll start to, if I have to, I'll just ship them down into here, and then I'll take Malaga. Malaga is going to be hard to hold once I take that location.
Yeah, that's true. Or even this one actually, but and
I like this one because it pockets more guys, but
There is a question from Joe Ball who said, "Is there a reason thus far why there was not much in the north part and mostly focused on the south?" And I think that David can explain. But first of all, there was that limit that you can only do one offensive in the north before that connection that actually Mark did super fast. But maybe you can tell more about this there, David.
Yeah, the thing is that the front line in all the half north part of Spain is quite static, because both sides have few spaces where you can attack with superiority. The only exception is the Carlist traditionalist militias. They are to the right in Navarra and the Basque Country, in the northeast part of Spain. You can find there more units there. The nationalists can attack, but apart from those ones, the options are quite limited, and the nationalist receives his best units in the south. So historically, that is what happened. The front was static. Both sides saw that they couldn't make important advances, and the elite forces and the ones that could make the difference were the African units, and they of course arrived to the south. So in the beginning, the nationalists had a very, well, you can see on the map, a very small controlled southern region or zone. So they had to first to connect with the north and start making progresses. And Malaga, for example, is a campaign that came a bit later. Historically, it was in February. It was in turn 4, and it was commanded by the first Italians, that the first Italian troops that came to Spain to aid the nationalists in December 1936. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes I see Malaga being attacked early, like in this game. In other games, you use the Africans more concentrated to connect with the north, and then menace Madrid, because the nationalists should attack Madrid as soon as possible also, for two reasons. The first and the main one, because it's the capital, and of course it's difficult, but if you manage to capture it in the first turns, the victory is quite possible, because capturing Madrid, historically Madrid resisted for nearly 3 years. So it was attacked in November 1936, and it didn't fall, and it didn't fall, and it resisted for the rest of the war. And before Madrid, you can find also the Alcázar of Toledo. It was a siege, a building that was surrounded by Republican forces, but it was loyal to the nationalists, and it was a symbol, and very in the propaganda aspect of the war, that was very important also, as we know. For the propaganda, it was very important, and when that is why it represents not only reducing 1 point of Republican morale, as the others also do, but also it gives 1 victory point to the nationalists. So the nationalists should also advance toward Madrid, and to do that, he needs to connect his 2 zones from the south, because he doesn't have enough troops in the north.
Because you didn't explain those siege markers that you see. So you have Simancas, Santa Cabeza, and the Alcázar that you just mentioned.
Yeah, they were just buildings, barracks, or a sanctuary, and a building from the Middle Ages. And they were occupied by military or police forces that were rebels, but they couldn't control their zone. So they decided to resist in those buildings until they were liberated by their comrades. It happened with the Alcázar, and it was a very important from the propaganda point of view. And the other two fell. Finally, were attacked and surrounded to the Republicans. So now you can also try. The one in the north is very difficult to liberate by the nationalists, but the other two, the one that historically was liberated, the Alcázar and Santa María de la Cabeza, the sanctuary, well, sometimes they can be liberated, or the Republican also can dedicate resources, can attack them, and they resist a number of assaults. So you can try to reduce them before the enemy arrives. It's another part of the game that I find interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting wrinkle.
More options, more replayability.
Yeah, and it's also something that makes it quite different from different options than you have from Path of Glory that are very thematic. I think it's really great.
Yeah.
But so Mark,
also no forts here. Yeah.
Mark, let's be serious.
No forts.
If we played seriously, I challenge you for, I don't know if you play PBM, or we could have vassal sessions, but I would be actually quite curious to play a full game against you.
We can play from this position. I like this one.
No. We start from scratch.
No. You don't get to back out.
I can win this. I'm not afraid of that.
From this one, I'll play you from this one.
Okay, I'll make
not
a save.
Sure. No, it's a game, interesting game, and both sides are nothing is decided. You had bad luck in that first attack.
I will. Yeah. But anyway, I believe it or not, I have a family here, so I need to.
Yeah. But it was really nice. Thanks a lot, Mark, for taking the time and saving the stream. I really appreciate it. That was really awesome. And I would be happy to
very much,
to play
Mark.
Again. Have a great.
And not only for this, Mark, thank you also for your games that have given me so much pleasure, so many hours of good game. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, you did some good games.
Well, Fred, you
very good games.
I'm ready for thank you very much, David. I appreciate it. And I like your game very much also. As I said, I definitely know how to play this one. It's been a while. Now I'm going to have to go take my set that's now at my feet. I have to go set it up and play it just to kind of get spun up again.
Yeah.
So, Fred, when are you ready to play Pacific War or Empire of the Sun? I mean, I don't know what's going on.
But Pacific War it's really up to you if you want to do a teach and play, and I just have to reach out to GMT to organize it. But I would be I think a lot of people would be happy to have a teach session with you on Pacific War. It's really up to you if you're up for it. I would be happy to do that.
Yeah, we'll do Coral Sea. This way they can follow along in the booklet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That could be nice if they could. I think those games, the more complex one, if they can play while we're doing it, I think it could be great.
Yeah. All right,
awesome.
I'm gonna kick off and let you guys finish. David, pleasure. Yes. Have a great one. I just got invited to Batio's con, and I will try. I mean, my life is such that I can't tell what I'm going to be doing in January, but if I can, at the last minute, I'll jump on a plane and come. So we'll see.
Maybe I'll see you there then. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah, we expect to see you in Spain sooner than later.
Yeah, I've actually I went on a business trip to Barcelona, and I was there for a week, and I love Barcelona. But that's the only part of Spain I've ever been in, other than through the Madrid airport, which doesn't really count. So I need to get back. It's a beautiful country. I can't wait.
Great. But see you soon, Mark.
Okay.
Thanks again. It was really kind. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
And let's play soon.
Yeah.
And David, thanks again for taking the time for presenting your game. We managed to make it work. So
thank you.
So I think
it was a very nice surprise. Now I am happy that the computer crashed down. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, computer. Now thank you. Now Mark Herman has played my game with Fred. I'm very happy. Yeah.
But I think it was
a nice surprise. Yeah.
It was a great session. Thanks again for taking the time. I hope that I see you soon. But that we'll discuss offline. But I hope to see you soon in the near future. And and I guess maybe one thing before we finish, I guess that you're probably working on future designs. And I think it could be, and I don't know, are you working on new games? And hopefully, if you do, maybe it would be nice to have you coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you want me to mention it, or it's
go
like
ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's not a secret.
No.
Well, I specialized on civil wars because the game I am working on is about another Spanish civil war, the Carlist War. It was well, actually there were 3 Carlist war in the 19th century, and I am working on the first Carlist War between 1834 and 1838. It started 1 year earlier and finished one year later. But I decided to concentrate on the main years of that war, but only in the north, because in the northern part of Spain, I mean, because it was a war that affected all Spain, but the Carlists, the rebels, the traditionalists, controlled a part of Spain in the north, in the Basque Country, Navarra, and well, in a small part of Spain, but enough to keep the war going on for 7 years. And the main battles and the main campaigns took place there. And it's a very, very interesting war that, again, doesn't have any
game on it.
Reflection on war games. Yeah. So I wanted to play it, and I had to make a design.
I think that would be a great follow-up. So that may be something that we can plan for. Like, let's try to do it sooner than the amount of time that it took me to get Crusade and Revolution on. But if we can do it in depending on the level of progress of your prototype, but I've seen some Vassal modules already, and I think that Ibai talked to me about it and everything. So I think you have already some stuff. If you can come at some point and we can have a session dedicated to that game, that would be really great. But in the meantime,
also for me,
David, I would say thanks a lot for taking the time, even through all of those technical problems, and thanks for a great game, honestly. And I hope to see you soon. Have a great evening, and speak to you soon. And thanks to everyone in the chat. And thanks for being patient with us as we were struggling through the motion. It was really great. You were all really fun, so that was cool. And thanks again to Mark.
Thank you all
for saving the day.
Muchas gracias. Adiós.
Adiós.